Hello, this is Siwan Kim, and this is my final project, the Architectural Influencer for the Architecture 170B class on spring semester 2023. Today I'm gonna do some simple presentation with this PowerPoint and my voice recordings. So what kind of architectural influencer do I want to be? I want to be an influencer who gives a positive effect to a people. A positive effect means by building a school, community center, hospital, and airport which are helpful to publics. Just beyond the building itself, for me, I think that the community building can gather people and and in the future bond them together as a one whole community. So, in my perspective, by making a building for people, which means also can contribute to the people and their community. So for me, I want to be that kind of architectural influencer who can also work for the people and the community itself. So along my designs, there's like a three issues aspects. First one is simple and clean. As myself, as a huge fan of international style, most of my architectural designs are following those styles, which is very rectangular, liners, and clean with less ornaments. And also, I prefer simple designs, which can be seen as a do or even bore. But for me, I believe by emphasizing a one or two language of the design to my projects, which can be simple, but at the same thing, which is not a boring. Also, I made my designs are very wide because um, making a building as huge as possible is also one of my features of the designs. Since the projects I had were big scale, such as school, community center, public recreation center, and skyscrapers, my designs toward the buildings got naturally huge and massive. For the last, I prefer very practical designs. Since my design is simple and has a massive scale, I needed some practical method to make building physically works. Although the designs are good and the building is huge, but if it cannot make it, then it doesn't make sense. So for me, a cantilever, arch, and beams are my solutions, which with those architectural construction methods, I could design my project simple, but at the same time, they're very huge and also strong, which is physically stable. For my inspirations, there's two architects who influenced me. One is Zaha Hadid, and the other is the Miss van der Rohe. So for the inspiration on especially exterior, there's two good example towards my project. The first one is the Barcelona Pavilion, which was made by Mies van der Rohe, and the second one is the Mexico Museum made by Zaha Hadid. From the Barcelona Pavilion, we can see the very strong liner horizontal languages, which is also can read it on my projects on the right side. From the Zahadi's work on the museum, we can see very huge, massive scales of the structure with the concrete exteriors, sorry, concrete walls, and also which can be seen in my project, which are very the huge scales with the concrete walls exteriors. The inspiration is also melted in circulation, which is inside or the minimal part compared to the exterior. So on the left side from the museum made by Zaha Hadid, we can see our liner stairs for the better circulations. When we come to the right side, the two projects that I had, we can also see exposed liner stairs, which are helpful for the circulation for the people. So in the future, there are some particular problems in the current design industry to challenge. The first one is the artificial intelligence. These days, artificial intelligence are very hot and used in many fields, including architectures. People wonder how the architecture, which is based on design and the physical part, and people wonder how the artificial intelligence can work. But these days, there are some programs that draw plans and sections and even the design automatically for the people. And there's also some programs that help architects to do more better design. So people are worried that those artificial intelligence can replace the people. And for what I think is also can be true because artificial intelligence doesn't need a code and the people need a code. So people can be replaced by artificial intelligence, but in order to survive from those artificial intelligence, I think the architect who has to be massive with their creativity, because the creativity is the part that the artificial intelligence cannot follow, and the architect who has the creativity, I think, has to be their own idea or their own language to be emphasized among the architects. And also another problem, it's not could be a problem, also another things that we are facing is the 3D printing. These days, archi some mechanicals use 3D printing to making a house or even huge sizes buildings. For me, I think that is kind of helpful and also practical. So I think in the future for the 3D printing, we have to understand and comprehend how to use 3D printer well to our projects or our buildings. And that's it. Thank you for listening. My final project for the architecture influencer for the 2020 Spring Architecture 170 class.